Who killed retirement security? Asked my man Andy Biggs. Got this article sent to me from my man John. All right, John the Con, because John is calling out the cons by actually reading this article and forwarded it to me. And Andy Biggs, it turns out, has a book coming out, which I want to read. I want to interview him to talk about his book, The Real Retirement Crisis. All right, so this is, remember, Andy Biggs, I want to say second-ranking guy at the Social Security Administration under George W. Bush. And he was a proponent, might still be, of privatizing some Social Security benefits. Oh my man, it's a dog up there is loud, dog out here is loud dogs everywhere. But it's not going to happen. It's just not. So, to his credit, Andy Biggs is not a naysayer by any stretch. He's a realist when he sees retirement income security and retirement income planning. He recognizes that it's all fraud. Now, I'm putting words in his mouth. He isn't saying that. I'm saying it. My problem with Andy is he doesn't call these guys out. He does in a way, but he's too diplomatic. I'm not. Screw all these guys who say this. These people are harming people by scaring people that you're going to run out of money. Where's the flipping evidence? Where is the evidence of that happening? It freaking so infuriates me. When I hear about people, I talk to them every single day. I lost my sister. She fell down the stairs, was in a coma for a month, and now she's dead. 3 months before she could take Social Security. I heard this, I heard that. I hear it all the time. Why? Because they're scared crapless that they're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of time before you run out of money. Where is the evidence of paupers in retirement? Well, there's some. Oh, my goodness. Jesus said there will always be the poor with us. That doesn't mean everyone assumes they're going to be poor. That's freaking idiotic. There will always be the poor. I'm reading every single day. I read 2 to 3 chapters of the Old Bible, the Old Testament. Hold on. What's up, girl? My daughter just showed up. So I was like, so where's the evidence, Vanguard? Where's the evidence, Boston College? Where's the evidence, all you clowns who do these studies? What is going on? Who funds you guys, man? You're like freaking Hezbollah being funded by Iran? What the hell's happening here? It freaking ticks me off, man. When you talk to as many people as I do who've lost loved ones who didn't have a chance to retire because they're so freaking stressed out, it's some evil crap happening. Now, Andy Biggs is never going to say this because he's a nice man. I'm not a nice man when it comes to this stuff because I see it with my reality. I told you about it. I've not just had one, not two, but three widows. And this really hasn't to do anything with retirement, but just like a thief in the night. Oh, that's what I say. Anyway, I'll keep going. Like a thief in the night. 3 men have fallen off their roofs. Either cleaning gutters or putting Christmas tree lights. So left widows behind. You don't know when it's going to come. And so I'm reading the Old Testament. I read 2 to 3 chapters a day. And now I'm halfway through, almost all done with Joshua now. And I've read the New Testament a couple times before. I just never really got into the Old Testament. Never read Deuteronomy. Never read Ecclesiastes. Never read. I've read Exodus before. I've read Genesis a couple times. Numbers, you know what I'm saying? But even then, the poor is going to be with us. We've known there will always be poor. Not everyone will ever not be poor. There will always be poor. Will that be you? I highly suspect it won't be. Now, if you're watching this video, it so infuriates me. I've had so many people, just sudden widows, anyway. All right. So in my soon-to-be published book, The Real Retirement Crisis, I examined 10 studies published over the past 2 decades, each predicting the future seniors' incomes will fall far short of what they need. Each study has shortcomings that fatally undermine its pessimistic conclusions. This kind of reminds me of the climate change freaking idiots. Look, I'm pissed. This whole thing pisses me off. I'm sorry. I wish you wouldn't cuss. I don't really consider that a cuss. I'm drunk. That's what piss means. I'm drunk. I'm just drunk. So can we say, okay, so there's a study 2 decades ago. What was the doom and gloom it predicted? Did that come to fruition? No, it's the same thing with the budget, the debts. Oh my goodness, they're always going to, it's the same thing, dude. Well, could it happen? Sure. Sure, anything could happen. I don't know. I mean, hell no. Who knows what the hell's, maybe Hamas is coming from the freaking border. We got 7.5 million people, the vast majority of young men coming across the border. We know who these people are. And then it looks like I'll have to add an 11th, the Vanguard Retirement Outlook. The Vanguard report, written by a team of researchers, released on October 5th with exclusive coverage from the Wall Street Journal, reaches sobering conclusions. The typical retiree will have an income roughly 1/4 less than they will need to maintain their pre-retirement standard of living. Oh, for the love of, and Andy doesn't even talk about why we don't even use pre-retirement standard of living. Your pre-retirement standard of living is not the standard of living post-retirement. It's just so freaking dumb. I mean, it could be. Most people, it's not. That's why, as you see, you can read in my book right here, Relax and Retire. Debunk inflation. Let me just show you, by the way. Look, I'm not a freaking credentialed, PhD economist. I'm just going to show you who your old buddy Josh is. You want to see what I will do with research? I'm going to go through some of my tabs. How much does it take to be the top 1% in each state? 5 alternatives to the 4% withdrawal. These are all article videos I want to do. Here's the Wall Street Journal. Millennials on better track for retirement than boomers. So this is all the stuff I look at. Here's what's this PDF of right here. I'm just going to show you. So I might not be a credentialed academic, but I'm certainly a well-read guy. Let's see what this one is. I'll say. Life expectancy data tables right here. Ooh, look at that. Life expectancy at birth. Interesting. Let's go. Life expectancy. Let's take a look here. This is fun. I love this stuff right here. It's not moving very fast. All right. Let's see. United States comparative trends analysis, per capita personal income growth and change 1958 to 2022. We got, what's this right here? Electrical goods right here. 1970s appliances, including prices. Electrical goods, you can see that. Let's keep going. I'll keep showing you what I got. Health and retirement benefits, data from 2 BLS surveys. This is from my man right there, Joseph Meisenheimer. I've read him a couple times. It's from 2000, March 2000. And then we talk about, there's a guy in here I've been referencing a lot lately, and I forgot his name off the top of my head because he's in, here we got BLS data, monthly labor review, going back 1983. This is the stuff I read. HRS, Health and Retirement Survey or Study from University of Michigan. We got, what else we got up here? Chronic conditions among Medicare beneficiaries right here. And this is dated 2012. We got Michael Kitces here, Understanding Sequence of Term Risks. This is actually a great article. What we got right here? Let's see what this one is. This is coverage investing of full-time employees under private retirement plans. What else do we got up here? We got research analysis by release date, Social Security. We can go back to all these dates. It's fun. I love this stuff. We got this supplemental PDF. Let's see what this is. Let's take a gander, shall we? We should gander together. Let's gander together and see what we got here. Annual 2022 annual supplement to Social Security bulletin. So look, man, I might not be as credentialed as all these guys that you like. You're like, oh man, but these guys are smart, Josh. Don't you know they have PhDs? They're in the academy. I'm just a guy in my T-shirt. I did shave today, and my dogs. Yeah, I'm not a shrinking violet when it comes to stuff. I know my stuff. And the facts are, my stuff stands the test of time. Why? Because it's based on hard evidence, hard research. All these other guys are based on just like the climate change narratives. Well, if this, then that, then this, and if this and this. It's like, dude, no. That's just freaking stupid. You can make all those assumptions, but then after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, just like the climate change fools, you got to say, our assumptions are wrong. IPCC reports, the IPCC, their Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. They're freaking fools, dude. All wrong. No different than something that recently happened in 2020, or some guy from the Imperial College of London. His name's Neil Ferguson, or IMHE. So Neil Ferguson, we go back. What was his predictions for swine flu? What was the predictions for bird flu? What was the predictions for this, that, and the other? How many people lost their livelihoods? How many freaking pigs? How many cows got slaughtered because this clown from ICL, the Imperial College of London, said all these flus are going to have massive impacts on humanity. And it just didn't happen. Yet we still listen to him. We shut the whole world down. It's freaking because of that clown. And then he goes out there and piddles with some married lady while he's telling everybody else to shut down. Freaking clowns. It pisses me off. Right. All right. Among lower income Americans, the picture is worse. Vanguard projects that low income seniors will have retirement incomes nearly 1/3 below what they'll need. See, that's just so freaking stupid. Social Security, Vanguard, is progressive. That means the lower the income, the more Social Security replaces. You freaking have to know this. 90% is the max. However, guess what else happens when you're in low income? You don't pay any taxes. Guess what happens when you're working? Oh, you still pay tax. It's called 7.65 to FICA tax, OASDIHI. Old age, survivor disability insurance, household insurance, OASDIHI. That's your FICA tax. Guess what goes away once you're retired? Oh, yeah, that stuff. Guess what you don't show as taxable income? Oh, it's transfer benefits. Just how does Vanguard not know this? Oh, man. But this all a typical person will read. Why should they dig deeper? Because the study's conclusions depend on his assumptions. Vanguard's a technical study, and so unfortunately most of the explanations are technical, but they're worth reading if you care about retirement savings adequacy. To start, there's a question of how much people wish to spend after retirement. Vanguard assumes that retirees wish to spend the same amount year after year from the age they retire until they die. That sounds reasonable, except even the Vanguard authors acknowledge the Rand study, Rand Corporation economists Michael Hurd and Susan Rottweiler, who I've referenced a million times, consumption falls as people age. And it's not just them, too. We know my man Frederick Vetesse, Vetesse, talks about look, we have BLS data, we got the data is through the roof, man. It's overwhelming that as people age, your own data, dude. Talked to a guy the other day. His mom, she has a small pension from, Ma Bell, so let's say $2,000 a month. She has small Social Security, $1,500 a month. She doesn't spend her Social Security. She is banking her Social Security. Why? Because she's 83 and she's just, the days of her spending are behind her. It's just that simple. But what about long-term care? All right, let's keep going. So we know Rottweiler and Rowetter and Michael Hurd crush, but there's many others than just them two. They're not the only people. There's lots of others who've looked at this and they said, your data is wrong that you're using people to say that people's spending goes up each and every year. There's just no evidence of that. And it's not because seniors are running out of money. The best explanation seems to be that people's health slows down. They don't desire to spend as much. Vanguard's steady spending assumption matters to their results. On average, a household would need to save nearly 50% more to finance steady expenditures. So Vanguard knows this. So why are they still pushing this crap? What is causing this? It's kind of like what caused the Hamas break-in in the Israeli border. And I was listening to Brett Weinstein interview a lady from the IDF from like 25 years ago. And she was on that border when she was in the Israeli Defense Force. She goes, man, if a cockroach approached the fence, we would have been on there like white on rice. So how can this possibly have occurred? She goes, I don't get it. I don't get it. I 100%, I don't get it. There's no way that these guys just gradually showed up one day and no one paid it. Well, Iran took out the data center. Then doesn't that say, hey, we don't have any data center. We got to send some freaking people to make sure the border's secure? It doesn't make sense. I know what it is. You know what it is if you think about it. The Israel government is just like the U.S. government. They wanted Netanyahu out of there. They wanted Netanyahu out, so they freaking sacrificed these people to get Netanyahu out. No different when the U.S. government's doing to Trump, the January 6th people. No different. At the end of the day, it might work in Israel, and it kind of worked a little bit here with the fair and clean elections in Fulton County. The fair and clean elections in Fulton County. You know what I'm talking about, right? At the end of the day, I'm not sure what's going to happen in Israel, but they didn't want him in office. And they said, we're willing to sacrifice. Look, these guys are evil, dude. These people. The big globalist corporatists are evil. And that's just what they're doing, without question. How dare you say that? I just said it. How else can you explain what happened in Israel? So the question is, who's funding Vanguard? And why are they doing this? I'm not saying they're evil, but is their data sacrificing people's happiness? Yeah, unequivocally it is, because it perpetuates the fraud that people can't afford to retire. That doesn't mean everyone can afford. I can't retire, my goodness. Second, Vanguard assumes that retirement spending must be financed from Social Security, retirement plans, and other financial assets. Again, at first glance, this seems reasonable. In fact, Federal Reserve data showed that over 65-year-old households receive about 60% of their income from these sources, which means 40% are coming from other sources that Vanguard doesn't use. About 23% comes from earnings in retirement. I'm talking to a guy just today. He's going to work a part-time job. His wife she's a nurse. She goes, that fulfills her. 3 days a week, $20,000 a year. He'll probably work a part-time job, $20,000 a year too. So only 60% of income that Vanguard cites comes from financial assets, retirement plans, and Social Security benefits. And that's what Vanguard says is all the income you have. It's freaking stupid. 23% comes from earnings. Another 14% comes from farm and business income, rental properties, whatnot. 3% comes from transfer benefits such as welfare and alimony. All in all, over 1/3 of the average retiree's income is missing in Vanguard's data. Third, Vanguard judges a household to have saved adequately if its income is enough to cover it over 90% of an investment return and longevity outcomes. I don't understand that. Vanguard judges a household to have saved adequately if its income is enough to cover over 90% of investment return and longevity outcomes. Now, I don't get that. For instance, while Vanguard assumes a mean investment return about 5.8 over the long run, the 10th percentile long term would be only 3.5. I don't understand what that means. That was a weird one. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not sure what he's talking about there. In a recent study, economists from the Investment Company Institute, that's the people who track mutual funds and whatnot, use IRS data to track households. Right here. This is what I want to talk about. Right. Vanguard projects that lower income households, those are the 25th percentile of the income distribution, will fall far, far short of being able to maintain their pre-retirement standard of living. Maybe so, but if we look at low-income retirees today, we don't see anything like what Vanguard is predicting. Brady and Bass of the ICI, the IRS data, and they followed individuals from 55 through 72. And what they find? That average incomes basically don't drop at all between the ages of 55 and 72. For the Vanguard projections to be plausible, retirement incomes basically need to fall off a cliff. It's like, we just lost all this money. Is there any evidence of that? Any evidence? The most detailed, most highly vetted model of future retirement incomes comes from the Social Security Administration. Retirement income simulation model in development since the late 1990s concludes that future seniors will have about the same level of retirement security as today's. That is, the retirement incomes will replace their pre-retirement earnings at about the same rate as today's seniors. So if today's seniors aren't running out of money, the most likely the futures won't either. And today's seniors aren't merely the richest retirees in history, they're also consistently report the high levels of financial security in public opinion polls. So they're not running out of money, they're content, and the Social Security Administration says we expect that the same thing to happen in the future. Analyzing nearly a dozen crises reminds me of an Agatha Christie novel, except instead of a whodunit, it's a howdunit. What are the technical assumptions that most readers won't give a second glance that drive the study's results? Now, I get what, again, this guy, Andy Biggs, is more diplomatic. Why done it? Why are you doing this? Not who done it, how done it, is why done it. Why? What's the backstory of this freaking fear mongering? That's what I'd like to know. I wish Andy would get a little more angry. It's like I am. Like, why are you doing this, Vanguard? Look, I get Teresa Girardelli up there. I mean, she's a commie. I get that. I get the people at Boston College. They're funded by AARP. They're not on your benefits, that's for sure. I get that. So they got to push a narrative that we need more intervention in the government, less security, less freedom, more government. That's what they want. Socialism, baby. Socialism, which means you don't have a say in your future. I get that. But why Vanguard? That doesn't make sense, dude. Like, why are they pushing this crap? I don't get it, man. Anyway, so I'll link the comments here, and I'm looking forward to Andy's book. Hopefully I'll get him back on the channel to interview him, talk about it. But man, I tell you, you might have a different take. That's fine. Everyone has unique takes. But if you followed this along and you got evidence that disproves me, put it in the comments. If you followed this along in this video, you got evidence that proves me, your own parents, put it in the comments. Let's see what you got. Put it in the comments. Again, that's all anecdotal. But enough anecdotal becomes empirical, and empirical evidence, you say that's what we can observe. And our observations plus studies that you can see over and over and over again is unequivocally not debatable that people can retire with flying colors. We've been doing it for decades. We'll continue to do it. All right, love your thoughts.